Welcome back. The Brotherhood Ballad is back for another episode. NFL Week 1. What a week.
Yeah, what a week it was. It was there was a mix of good games, bad games, and not very good games. Like we saw a bunch of games across the board, but overall for the opening week and week one in the NFL, I can't complain. What are your thoughts on that, Justin?
I mean, I have to agree 100%. I think starting the week off with the Cowboys loss was just a perfect way to start the week. And then ending the week with, the Vikings
Disaster.
Bears. Jeez, baby. The Vikings Bears game was really good last night, let alone Sunday night. We had the Ravens Bills,
Oh
which
my
potentially
God.
could be an AFC Championship matchup. That one was an all-timer for sure. So, all in all, yeah, there was some not that entertaining games, but I think it was a great start to the season for sure.
Yeah. I think one takeaway that I had after last night, like encapsulating the whole week, was how disappointing of a start it was for Drake May and Bo Nix specifically in their two respective teams. Because the whole offseason, like the general belief has been hyped up on Drake May and Bo Nix, and I think they did not get out to the right start considering the hype they had behind them. Now, that's not to say that they can easily turn it around. It's only week one, but for what people were saying, they definitely did not do their part to live up to that kind of MO that's been around them in the offseason.
I think the Broncos were very lucky to escape with that victory. Obviously, the Patriots did not beat the Raiders at home, which was brutal because I know the Pats fans, some of them definitely have some high expectations this season. And obviously, it is week 1, but this is a time to overreact. So I
Hmm.
think for those two, they got to step it up. Our guy, Willie Pete, he was probably really happy with that Steelers win.
I
Rodgers,
was too.
surprise.
That Rodgers performance made me so happy because I just miss seeing Rodgers happy. He just got like shitted on in New York because he got injured and then didn't really have a good season following, which is to be expected off that injury. And then, you know, all the Jets fan booed him, but that's the Jets fan base. If you leave the Jets and you have that name behind yourself like Rodgers, you're bound to get booed if you didn't really do much. But to see that vintage performance, four touchdowns, I believe like 240 some yards, a high passer rating, a high QBR, oh, that was just vintage. I just had the biggest grin on my face.
Yeah, and even on the other side of the field, I thought Justin Fields played one of his
Yeah,
best games of his career.
I completely agree with you there.
The two
Justin Fields
Justins,
looked really
Herbert and
good.
Fields, played their best games of their career, in my opinion.
Well, Justin Fields or Justin Herbert has a cheat code for the rest of the year. He's dating Madison Beer, so there's no way he's not going to be playing well when that's looking at you all game.
I've been seeing him like the Tom Brady edits, and it's like Justin Herbert since he started dating Madison Beer. But when you have that, even look at Josh Allen. He's married to Haley Steinfeld, and for those who saw Sinners, like she's got that freaky side. So he's living life for sure there in Buffalo. But I mean,
Hopefully, he doesn't get turned into a vampire, but that's neither here or there.
what was the most surprising result of week 1 for you?
So, honestly, I would say the most surprised I was by how shitty Mahomes played. And so I'll do that, and then I'll obviously say because of this, I mean, the 27 to 13, that didn't really show the true impact of what that game was because that was a goddamn blowout. So,
It was
but
from the start. I knew like this is different. They looked completely different. Obviously, last year Green Bay had the year from hell, in my opinion. Jordan Love just was pretty much playing injured all year, and when you get the best player on defense, it shows. And I think the Lions too, another key aspect, like I mentioned before, Ben Johnson, I think is a huge, huge loss for them. Like
mhm.
I think Dan Campbell is a good coach, but I think they were just really clicking on all cylinders last year, and this year I think they're going to take a huge step back.
Yeah, and to go back to what I was saying about Mahomes, I think Mahomes and the Chiefs really did not look well because Herbert had only beat Mahomes twice in his career up to that point, and one of them was in a Week 17 when the Chiefs had already had home field advantage and were the number one seed in the AFC going into the playoffs. So there was no reason for them to, for like Mahomes, Kelsey, all those guys to play. So he really had only beat Mahomes one time in his career up to that point.
Now, seemingly every year we see teams that played really well. struggle. Last season it was the 49ers. They obviously made it to the Super Bowl, and then last year they missed the playoffs. Out of teams that played really well last season, teams this season that don't play as well, who do you see being the candidate, whether it be the Chiefs, the Lions? Do you see any of those teams that played really well last season potentially missing the playoffs?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was talking to a couple of my buddies, and I could easily see a situation where the Vikings and or the Lions don't make the playoffs, and I think it's mainly because the coaching around them. Like, I can't be, I can hate the team and the fans, but like, you have to give credit where credit's due. And Ben Johnson is one of the best coordinators slash now head coaches in the NFL. There's no denying that. I know the Bears didn't close out on their lead last night, but through and through, Ben Johnson is really like that. And so I think, I mean, that clearly showed against the Lions when we played them. Like everybody was talking about Penei Sewell and how good he is, but they had a triple team Micah Parsons on multiple different plays, and all those salty ass Lions fans talking about how, oh, Parsons didn't even make an impact. His presence in the stadium alone made it hard for Goff to run the offense. He looked like a chicken with no head when they were like on offense.
Yeah, totally. I think that it's just obvious that something was wrong, and the Lions just are not the same team. Switching gears a little bit, there's a divisional matchup this upcoming weekend between the New York Giants and the Cowboys. Now, the Giants and the Commanders, that was not even a close game at all. And Wilson really shit the bed this week.
Yeah,
Is
he
there
did.
a chance we see Jackson Dart next week, as early as next week, or do you think it'll be a little later in the season?
Well, I don't know if you saw it actually came out today that Dabble has confirmed that Wilson will be starting this
Oh,
week.
okay. I didn't see that, but
Yeah. But
you think we'll
originally
see
I
Dart if Wilson's
yeah.
playing bad?
Originally, like before today, I was like, why not? I mean, the problem is throwing a rookie into a hellhole with no offensive line. It wouldn't really be beneficial to Dart at all, but like at some point, you've got to like it's the NFL. You're with the big dogs. It's no really easing into it unless you have a system like the Packers where you are that good at drafting a quarterback that you can let them sit for, 2 to 4 seasons and develop under some great talent. They don't have that in New York. That's not to say Russell Wilson's not good, but he's well out of his prime.
Oh, 100%. As a lot of Broncos fans know, I even asked the Broncos fan a couple weeks ago who his least favorite Broncos quarterback of all time was, and he said Russell Wilson. So that pretty much shows like his career trajectory is definitely on the downhill slope. Now, I don't think I asked you in our NFL preview, but out of the teams that we saw, like horrible, horrible performance by the Dolphins, and we just saw like some stinkers. Carolina didn't play well at all. Who do you think will be the worst team in the NFL this season?
Dolphins, especially after what came out today, Tyreek Hill beat his ex-wife again, broke back to punching women and shit. Like he has no he doesn't want to play football. They removed his captain's badge, bro. He's so checked out. Mike McDaniels is a cokehead and Tua has the brain the size of a pea. Bro can't even throw a check down.
Yeah, I think McDonald or McDaniel is definitely going to be the first coach fired, in my opinion. Like he's not going to make it to Thanksgiving, let alone Halloween, I don't think.
I so after week one I kind of had like, the overreaction takes, and one of my takes is that the Chargers are gonna win the AFC West.
I kind of like that, especially the way the Broncos and the Chiefs played in week one. I think this is Herbert's time to show. I mean, he's shown his talent, but it hasn't translated to the win column, and especially in the
And
playoffs last year.
yeah.
So I
Especially
think
when
this
playing
could
for
definitely be
Lamar.
the year for them.
Yeah, also I was really unimpressed with Travis Hunter, but I've been that way his whole time.
Yeah, I mean, what was it like 45 snaps he did? But I think he's just kind of like he's a glorified Swiss Army knife. Like, I mean, yeah, he can play both sides, but I think he's
It's
just too
pretty
small. Like,
Big
he's
12
gonna get beat
defenses
up.
that can play both sides.
Yeah.
And Genti had a fairly decent game. He got a touchdown. I don't know his exact stat line, but for a rookie debut on the road with scoring a touchdown too and getting the win, can't complain.
19 carries for 38 yards. So, I mean, it's not like he wasn't running it down the Patriots' throat, but I think I mean, you get a touchdown in your first game, and as long as you get the dub, I think he's one of my favorite rookies for sure.
Yeah, I would have to agree. One thing I also wanted to touch on was going back to that Packers Lions game was that Lions rookie wide receiver who caught that touchdown in garbage time. That like legit could be the catch of the year already in week one. That outside of the Odell catch, that's literally might be one of the best catches I've ever seen.
Tesla,
Yes. That freak, he's an animal.
he's out of Arkansas. He's got a
That
mullet. I
that
respect it.
catch was psycho. Because like when I was watching it, people were like, "Oh no, he didn't catch it." Oh yeah, yeah, he did.
That's crazy. I think
Yeah,
what stood out to me was just the Packers defense could be the best in the NFL, along with the Broncos. The Broncos defense played really well too, but I think those could be two of the top matchups in the league in terms of defense. I think that would be a fun Super Bowl matchup, but obviously, that's a little bit far away, but that would be fun just for our sakes.
for sure. And going back to the Jets and Jets Steelers game, we saw flashes of old Jalen Ramsey.
He's been a stud.
He's a maniac. That hit on Garrett Wilson the end of the game was, I mean, that's as technical as it gets. Laid him out, dropped the pass, got the winning play for the team, and Garrett Wilson's laying there like a dead fish.
I mean, I love a lot of the dudes on the Steelers. Slay, I like him. I've liked him for a
I don't like
while.
him at
Obviously,
all.
TJ Watt.
Go TJ Watt, former Wisconsin Badger. What's up?
Oh yeah. JJ was on the call. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Stud.
Yeah. I really like Tomlin. Like especially with Rodgers there now. I've never been a hater of the Steelers. I'm excited now more than ever. If Rodgers continues to play like that and the Packers defense is like how they are, that week 8 matchup is going to be something to write home about, and I can't wait to be there.
I mean, even looking ahead for the Steelers, Seahawks next week, I think they could beat them.
With how they played this, yeah.
Vikings, it could be close.
Yeah.
Browns, that's a win. Bengals could be
Depends
close.
on how Rodgers is playing.
And then at the Packers. So I mean, going into that week 8 game, I mean, I definitely could see them over 500, but it'll just depend on Rodgers. I loved him in that offense, honestly. Like it's the best he's looked since his MVP season.
Yeah, that 4 touchdown and no interception is the first time he's had that since 2021.
Yeah, I think he's doing something right in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Tomlin's got him on that special something in Pittsburgh, but yeah, over like you know, just taking a look at the Packers' upcoming schedule, we've got an early bye week, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think part of it has to do with those damn international games in like England and Germany and stuff, because a week 5 bye week's damn early. Um, but who knows? Maybe it'll serve for the better, as we'll find out. Only time will tell. But up to that point, looking ahead at the next few weeks, we've got the Commanders at home this Thursday night on 9/11. And the first NFL game to happen after the actual 9/11 was a Thursday night game between the Packers and at the former time the Redskins in Lambeau.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I saw that today on Instagram. So I'm really actually excited for that matchup, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love. Um, I think, like not even being biased, I think it could be one of the most viewed Thursday night games of the season.
100%, especially with everybody looking at this is Jaden Daniels' first test in his second season because obviously the Giants weren't a test at all last week, but this is prime time. If he's going to ball out, this is the week to do it, especially against that Packers defense that looks like one of the best in the NFL. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think the Packers will pull away though. Lambeau will be absolutely rocking. Micah Parsons has another opportunity to ball out in front of that crowd.
It's going to be sold out on 9/11. It's going to be like the atmosphere is going to be like, close to like playoff level
There's a
when that.
very good case for the Packers being 6-0 going into that Steelers game in October. Very good case. The only other competition I could see them struggling a little bit with is the Bengals, but that'll just be kind of a shootout game, if anything.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. Coming off that bye week, Bengals, Cardinals, and Steelers. Uh, Only one home game in that stretch, and that is the Bengals the week after our bye week. And then we go on the road to play the Cardinals and the Steelers. And I know I said a pretty, optimistic record. I believe I said what 15-2 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like we were talking about overreactions, I don't even think it's an overreaction. I could see us going undefeated in the division. Now, normally we do split with the Vikings. That does happen quite frequently. And so I I do expect there being a chance that we do split with the Vikings just because it is the Vikings. Through and through, I believe they've been our best rivalry as of recent in terms of splitting wins and losses. And we do, we play them later in the season both times, so I could easily see that being a split. But even up to that point, I mean, I could still see that 15-2 record being very plausible.
I think, especially in that division, the Bears, I think you guys can get them. The Lions, I mean, I don't really think on Thanksgiving Day. I think the Packers will be ready to play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We play the next time, yeah, like you said, the next time we play the Lions is on Thanksgiving. And so I think the two losses updated are now probably going to be one to the Lions, sorry, one to the Vikings, and either one to the Eagles and or the Ravens,
Yeah,
putting
I
it
think
as a 2 or 3 loss season.
that's pretty good considering all things considered. Didn't expect Micah Parsons at the beginning of the season to be on your squad, so now that you have him, it's looking pretty good to be a Packers fan.
Yeah, is there any last comments that you wanted to make on NFL before we switched over to a little bit of college football week 2 or 3, whatever are on 3?
It was looking back or looking ahead to week three.
Either.
I just wanted to shout out Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. I forgot to
Shout
shout
out
him out.
Bill.
He's I think he was a seventh round pick for the Commanders. They got rid of Brian Robinson, so now he's the starting running back. He had 10 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown. I forgot to shout him out last pod, but shout out to him. College football, I mean, where do we begin? This weekend wasn't projected to be a good weekend, but we saw like a ton of upsets. Arizona State drops out of the top 25, which is crazy, but
Sam Levitt's a bum.
I think they're overrated. I think the school down south in Tucson is a lot underrated. I think they're getting a lot of hype this week. Florida, they're done. I don't think they're making a bowl. They
Hell
had to have
no.
this game. Their schedule and Oklahoma's schedule is the toughest in the country, in my
They're
opinion.
gonna get
Along with
smacked.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin's schedule is super tough. So, good.
Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Yeah, Arizona, Kansas State Friday night. We got Packers, Commanders Thursday night. Then Arizona, K-State Friday night. It's gonna be a couple good games there. Um, Arizona State looked really good the past 2 weeks against Hawaii and Weber State. Shout out Dame Dalla, but I know there was about a 2 hour delay down there in Tucson. So the game didn't kick off until about 11:30 our time. So a little bit of no kidding, Pac-12 after dark or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the way they came out firing was unbelievable. I think Fafita and Seth Daggy, our offensive coordinator, are really clicking on all cylinders. We have a lot of weapons, but K-State's no slouch. They're now favored by 1.5. We were favored by 1.5, so that line moved. So I'm a little nervous, but we got to get this one, and then we have a bye week, an early one like the Packers, and then we have Iowa State in Ames the next week. So that's going to be two of our biggest tests this schedule for sure this season.
Yeah, I think something good for the for Arizona down there would be to split between K-State and Iowa State. I think especially if I mean, I don't see why Iowa State can't beat Arkansas State this weekend. So Iowa State is probably going to move up a couple more spots in the ranking. I'd say they probably could even touch, that top 12 if they do bad things to Arkansas State, like put up like 40 points on them and just blow them out of the water. Um, and I believe it's on the road too. I could be wrong, but I think that is at Arkansas State. Um, and so for, Arizona to come into Ames in their top 12 team, not a fan of either really. I mean, go Bearcats, but like, you know what I'm saying? I think that'd be a very hard win for Arizona, especially with no Tetero McMillan anymore.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bloodbath for sure. Looking ahead to this weekend in college football, we do have a couple top 25 matchups. Georgia is going at Tennessee, only favored by 3.5. That Aguilar has looked a lot better than Nico Iamaleava for sure. I think he's
He's
clicking.
such a bum.
I predicted that. I don't even think UCLA is going to make a bowl game. I think they're going to go 3-9. I mean, yeah, they have New Mexico this week, but I just think he went to Tinseltown and he really screwed up. I think he's gonna hop back in the portal and end up probably at like Incarnate Word or like some FCS school after this season. I really don't.
Appalachian State.
He'll probably end up at somewhere that we've never heard of. South Florida, they've been a surprise team. Two ranked wins. They have another huge opportunity this weekend at number five, Miami. Miami is favored by 18 and a half points. I think that's a little too much. I mean, yeah, Carson Beck has showed a little bit of promise this season, especially last season, disappointment in Georgia. He's got his Lamborghini stolen. He's probably got another car again, but
And a new
I'll get
girlfriend
past.
that I'll cheat on.
Next up on the watch list for this weekend, Notre Dame, Texas A&M. Notre Dame coming off that 0-1. They had that tough loss to Clemson. Texas A&M 2-0 to start the season. Who do you have winning that game?
I mean, go Ag. Shout out Money Manziel. Um, but um I think what is it, Jeremiah Love Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah Love's gonna ball out.
Do you think Wisconsin has any chance of staying within 3 touchdowns of Alabama in Tuscaloosa?
So go Badges. I think Fickle's on the firing squad right now. I mean, we looked like shit against Middle Tennessee State. I know we won like 40 something to 7 or whatever, but it was a bad performance. We should have put up another 20 points at least. Um, those boys on the offensive line in Bama are huge. I think their whole offensive line are 4 and 5 star recruits.
Yeah, Caden Proctor's probably going to go in the first round. He's a stud.
He's a stud, and my heart wants to say that there's a chance that they don't get blown out, but I know Kalen DeBoer has been not very good of a head coach there, but you are replacing literally the best college coach ever, so there's a lot to live up to. I just don't see there's a way that Wisconsin wins that game. I mean, let alone come in within, I mean, that spread. I mean, the spread's made by people who know what they're doing for a reason. If Wisconsin wins that game, I'm taking a fucking private jet to Tuscaloosa and burning down Bryant-Denny Stadium or wherever the hell they play at.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. The teams that you did not expect to struggle considering their opponent, we saw some high profile teams struggling. Like LSU was struggling to get anything off the ground when they played Louisiana Tech, and we saw Troy up 16 to nothing on Clemson.
All the
We
way into the fourth quarter, too.
we saw Texas. I think Arch Manning's injured. There was a clip that was
Yeah.
circulating on Twitter of him like
Grimacing.
while throwing. Yeah, so I think he's injured. I think all these teams. It's there's got to be a couple upsets this weekend. I mean, my dad mentioned that there's normally three every weekend, so I mean, there's probably going to be like an Arkansas over Ole Miss, or I mean, Texas State over Arizona State. I think Tempe would drown in their tears because that would be rough.
They'd have another dust storm.
I think I think Sam Levitt's overrated. I think Arizona had a unbelievable run in 2023, had a horrible 2024. I think ASU had an unbelievable 2024. They're going to have a horrible 2025, in my opinion.
Kenny Dillingham's not even that good of a head coach, in my opinion.
No, I mean, shout out like he bought his coaches like or like part of his whatever with his paycheck. Like he does cool stuff like that. But I mean, he just gets fired up. Like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do as a coach. You're supposed to be fired up.
Yeah, and sorry, going back to the NFL, but we were talking about Texas. Just bring in Quinn Ewers. Just bring him in over Tua. The Tua experiment is over. He can't even throw a goddamn football. Bring in Quinn Ewers. Just let it happen. Fire McDaniels. Let Tyreek Hill walk because he beats women. Get Tua out of there and let Quinn Ewers play.
I mean, the Dolphins are favored over the Patriots this upcoming week, so.
No shot they win. There's no way. No way in hell they beat the Patriots.
We could see Quinn Ewers potentially if Tua is injured. Looking ahead to this week before we wrap up, NFL, what are the key games that you're looking forward to this weekend?
You can go first. I need to pull up the schedule here.
Some of the ones that I think, I mean, obviously Eagles Chiefs 325.
Yep.
That one's going to be a great one. Super Bowl matchup, obviously. We got some great divisional games. Bears Lions could be interesting. Giants Cowboys is not going to be must-watch TV whatsoever. Rams Titans. I think the Titans are a little bit underrated. I think Cam Ward, he showed some promise. I think they win that game against Denver if his receivers caught the ball. Calvin really had some costly drops. Commanders, Packers, and the Eagles, Chiefs are the two that I'm really most looking forward to.
Yeah, really, essentially agree with you there. Packers Commanders for sure. Um, and then in terms of like how close the game will be, I think the Bears versus the Lions, another divisional matchup, could be good. Noon slated game. It looks like it's at Ford Field, so the Lions are going to be on a bit of a, you know, not redemption, but they're going to be looking to prove everything to their team and to their fans because they really looked like shit against Green Bay. Yeah, obviously Super Bowl rematch, and then we got a double Monday night game. One at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. That's Buccaneers, Texans, Chargers, Raiders. I think the Chargers blow this game out, and the Texans and the Buccaneers. Eh, yeah, but the main, like you said, the main two, main three, Super Bowl rematch, Bears, Lions, Packers, Commanders.
Yeah, in terms of another underrated matchup, I think Seahawks Steelers could get a little gamey. I think
Yeah.
seeing if Rodgers can maybe replicate it just a little bit. I think Steelers could go off to a really good start to the beginning of this season. I think unwatchable games, 49ers Saints, I don't want to watch that. Patriots Dolphins, I don't want to watch that. Bills Jets, maybe Justin Fields could get a little dicey at home against the Bills, but I don't really see any of these other games. Do you have any predictions for this upcoming weekend in terms of football? Do you see any potential upsets? Any players that you think are going to have a spectacular game?
Um, Firstly, since like we talked about a couple things. One, we're gonna be, or I'll save that for the end. But yeah, in terms of people that I think are gonna ball out, I think it's gonna be a Matthew Golden is gonna get his go, on Thursday night against Washington. I mean, for the few catches that he did have, he looked good. Um, yeah, I think Matthew Golden's gonna get his. I think we see a bit of a redemption or like a makeup game for AJ Brown. He was too busy reading his book on the sideline and Thursday on Thursday night against Dallas. Um, if Bro doesn't get any targets against Dallas, he's going to be complaining to Nick Sirianni, and Sirianni will just flip off all the fans and shit. Uh, so yeah, I think AJ Brown's going to get his. Um, what else? You know, it's supposed to be Roma Dunze's breakout year is what everybody's saying. Roma Dunze this, Roma Dunze that. I think this weekend, if he cooks the Lions, that could be some shit.
I think the Bears, I mean, they have to rebound because when you blow a game, they absolutely blew the game last night to the Vikings. JJ McCarthy, I saw a stat 16-0 since they lost that game that you were at against TCU in that semifinal. He's
Yeah.
16
Oh
0
my
as a
God.
starting quarterback.
Yeah, that game was crazy too. That's the best game Max Duggan has ever played, and that's the last time we ever saw him play.
Yeah,
I
that's
think I think he
unfortunate
probably
for
works at
TCU
Canes
fans.
now or something, or like Burger King.
My prediction for this week, Packers covering the spread, the 3.5. Give me that 3.5 over the Commanders. And Arizona, give me the 1.5. I think they're going to blow out Kansas State by 2 touchdowns because we're taking our revenge. We lost to them horribly in Manhattan. But those are my predictions. This has been the Brotherhood Ballad. Thanks for watching, and until next time.